Hey everyone, I'm Veer. I'm here again today to answer your questions regarding the moderate. Oh, hold on 1 second. So sorry, guys. I don't even know if that was coming in through y'all, but I started voice jamming myself. I had the stream window open. But yeah, hi, I'm Veer. I'm head of the moderation team. I've got Dante on today with me. He runs the support team, essentially. So if you guys have any questions for Dante regarding support, you guys can also ask him that. Oh, we've got a couple things already coming in. Oh, hey, it's John Moderation. Hello. Bloody Phantom 76. Hi, I hope you and everyone have a wonderful day. Also, it's my birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Bloody Phantom. Glad to have you here. And hi, Nuki. I hope you guys are having a good day today. By the way, I kind of like had a quick little PSA pop up in my mind today, and it's regarding like the session rules. I'm sorry, the session menu that you can find in your dash when you're hosting your own session. And let's say it's a public session, and you have someone who comes in, and you think that it's possible that they're trolling you. You don't know them. None of your friends know them. You don't really have to converse with this person. You can 100% just immediately start interacting with your self-moderation tools. You don't need to threaten the person with, like being kicked unless that's how you want to run things. But, that's probably going to give you a headache in the long run. And if they're truly just there to troll you, you're not going to hurt their feelings by kicking them from the world. You're just going to make them laugh. You both have a dopamine response. It's a good time. But yeah, just try not to, pick fights with trolls. It never really works out well for anyone. Nuki says, wait, that's Dante? I haven't seen him as a non-otter. This is Dante.
Yeah, I have a lot of avatars.
Your own trolls. It's a good time. No, that's... Okay, is that the takeaway we're going with? Alright, great. But yeah, just don't try to fight people online. We give you guys self-moderation tools just for that purpose explicitly. Another thing, please don't use your own self-built moderation tools. I've seen people use go home guns, and that's just a bad practice because that person that you used it on could send us a report with a log showing that you used some weapon that crashed them out of your session. That looks bad on you. Use the session moderation tools that we provide. Nuki says, no stream for me today, a headset not working, sick in bed, and Frooks isn't streaming, so there's no hold to fill. Yeah, I figured that might come up today, but I'm sorry that you're sick. I hope you feel better.
Hope you feel better.
Let's see here. Also, sorry for the, kind of late message going out today. I'm a little under the weather myself. I may need to run real quick during the stream here, but I'll be back immediately, pretty quickly after. So, I'll be here. And I'm not going to leave Dante alone here. Don't worry, Dante. So I hope y'all are having a wonderful, Sunday. Probably something I ate. I eat a lot of weird stuff. Nuki says, "Oh yeah, stay out of the garbage pails," By the way, I don't think I've shown this off last time, but we're in a fall version of the Verdian Islands this time around. And thanks to Rue has installed some new lighting in here. I think it looks pretty pretty. Pretty pretty? Very pretty? I don't know. One of those two. Hello, Lexivo. Oh, Monday morning. Yeah, well, good morning. Hope you got your cup of coffee. Yeah, Nuki says, very autumnal. Yes. I love that wave.
With the weather changing and it feeling cooler being here, feels really nice with the lighting and everything.
Exactly. That's why I got my hoodie on. I'm just I know fall's not technically here. We're still in summer, but I don't know. I've got fall fever. I can't wait till it truly starts cooling down. We got 60-degree days again. I miss my walks. Nuki says it's fall in Texas. How so? Like you guys got cool weather there? Wow. I don't know like Texas weather that well, but like I used to live in Florida, and so I understand what it's like to be in a hot climate and then have cool days like when it's still technically summer. It's pretty awesome when that happens. Very rare. Oh, you live in Florida. Okay, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I remember back when, what was it, like 2014, 2012, somewhere around there in Florida, you could still like get away with like opening the windows when it's like the beginning of October. When I left Florida, it was just like hot until December, or even the middle of December sometimes. Is that Mabe Village I hear? I don't know, it might be. I kind of hid the player behind the thing here. I don't know if it's going to tell me right on the thing, actually. It could be. But currently I've got playing in the background Hyrule Cafe 2 Chill Zelda Beats. Another Game Chops album. I think it's the one I was playing last time. Town theme from Zelda 4. I don't know them numerically. Which one is that? Link's Awakening. Okay. You know, now I hear it in my head. Okay. Yep, the chain chomp in someone's yard. Okay, yeah, now I remember. By the way, for anyone who is just showing up, welcome. I'm Veer. I'm head of moderation for the Resonite platform, and today I've got Dante on with me, who's the head of support. So if you guys have any questions for us regarding those two topics, or the Resonite guidelines, even the mentor program, we're here to answer your questions for the next 30-ish minutes. We could be here longer. It's seeming a little bit quiet today, so we might be taking off early. Not early, but maybe about 30 minutes in. But we'll see. If the questions start picking up, yeah, we'll stick around for a bit longer. That game was a fever dream, Nuki says. Yeah, I remember it being like, oh yeah, literally. Oh right, okay, because of the windfish. I hope that's not spoiling anything for anyone. Yeah, okay, I remember now. Ballad of the Windfish, that's one of my favorite Zelda songs. If not, like, my quintessential favorite Zelda song, or Zelda theme. Yeah, that's spoilers for a 30-year-old Game Boy game. I know, right? Like, it's all a dream, guys. Oops, spoily oops. Oh, yeah. Nuki says this is Epona's Lake and Long On Ranch. Actually, I think I remember it saying something differently, but I think this is like from one of the like most recent two games. Which area is this from?
Epona's song is something that I will just like whistle to myself like all day long.
Oh heck yeah. The windfish is Link's father, says Baffler. Huh? Is that a theory? A game theory? Oh man. Is this Clocktown? I think this is Clocktown, isn't it? Yeah. Not many people watching today. Yeah, I kind of put out the announcement a little bit late. That's my bad. But Yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm used to having. I don't know. I just lost track of time today. Man, like, that was such a good game too. Another fever dream of a Zelda game, Majora's Mask. I really liked the raining theme, like day 2 for the clock town. I thought that one was pretty cool. That game had a lot of like really interesting like story elements, like just a whole bunch of like life going on in the background of those like 3 days. Lexivo says, any preparation you guys did for the marketing push that has started? On the moderation side, there's nothing we really need to do. We're already over like staffed essentially with moderation team members. But we're hoping that we do see an increase. I think that it'll be interesting for sure. How about you, Dante? Anything changing on the support side, or are you all set there too?
I think we're already. There's a couple issues that face, new registrations, new users, but we're like prepared and have, quick and easy fixes. If people just reach out to the support ticket system, we can get people going really quickly.
Yeah. Well, good. Oh, Nuki's got a question for you, Dante.
I am an alien space dog. I hope that's what you mean.
I think so. Nuki asks, what is Dante's role on the team? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I started out in moderation as a moderator, and eventually, years later, I stepped up to be a moderation lead, helped lead the moderation team. And then once we needed it, I took on running the support team through the our support system, and so now I serve to kind of bridge that gap as well. When especially when the moderation team needs administrative help, I am there to help out as well. So it's kind of a both thing.
Yep. Petro770 says, Glorp, right back at you, Petro770. God, that reminds me of the book that I'm currently reading called Dungeon Crawler Carl. Glurp, glurp. If anyone's read that book, you'll know what I'm talking about. That is a crazy book. Here, could you pet Dante for us? Absolutely. Let's see here. No, I didn't miss anything, have I? You forgot to ask consent. Oh, I'm sorry, Dante. You know where to go, moderation.resonite.com.
I'll learn a ticket immediately.
Oh no. Well, that's it for me, guys. It was fun being the head of moderation for this platform, but my ass is grass.
Can I pet Veer? I think I can reach up there. Oh, do I have consent to pet you, Veer?
Sure.
Okay. There we go.
Nuki forgets implied consent exists. Yeah, true. There's also always background consent that you might or might not be aware of too. So. I mean, but who are we? What kind of dog are we talking about, though? Are we talking about a dog in reality? Are we asking the owner? because that's probably recommended. It's like, oh yeah, no, this is Princess. She doesn't bite. You know what I mean? Pixelinator brings up a cool thing here. This is why stuff like consent bracelets are neat in VR. You can just have a thing on your avatar that visually shows you you're okay with, with stuff like pets and whatnot. Yeah, no, I think that's pretty cool as well. I noticed though that, like, how can I put it? If you're not in a world that those are like immediately available at the front, sometimes people might not necessarily see it, or whatever. So that's why it's always important to ask too, especially if you don't know someone. Like, there are some people that are actually extremely averse to like nose boops and head pats and stuff like that too. So yeah, just don't boop someone or head pat someone that you don't know, without asking. Like, make sure you're always getting those kind of consent. Nuki says, I like how your shirt is animated. I might copy that. Yeah, it's a pretty cool system. So here's what I did, and I recommend that you do this carefully, because if you don't, it can be very laggy. But this is actually a camera that's pointing at a 3D object that is rendering at a very low resolution, and it is excluding everything but that object. So there's technically like a floating 3D gloopy logo like on my avatar somewhere that's on a hidden layer. Yeah. In fact, here, hold on. Let me get my necklaces out of the way. I'll come closer to the camera here, show it off a little bit better. Let's see. I wish I'd put these necklaces right next to each other. There we go. Oh, yeah, it kind of gets a little bit dark, but you can see that it's kind of like a low resolution logo. That was also intentionally like designed that way. I wanted it to, I don't know, look like it's being rendered on a Game Boy or something. Let's see. We got a few things here. Veer, what can we do as users to help moderation? Send us tickets. That's one thing that I think is like maybe the biggest gripe I might have, is like, we'll hear about stuff like, I check social media. I don't really check Twitter anymore, but I do check like Blue Sky. And every so often I'll see a post on there saying like, oh, well, this person, like, one thing I've seen, recently-ish on Blue Sky is someone saying that they experienced intolerance on our platform, but we never received any tickets about stuff like that. And so if we don't receive a ticket, we don't know that it's happening. We're not hiding in your sessions. We don't have the ability to enter your sessions without you inviting us in, like vampire rules, right? We can't just like hide in there and watch what's going on. We don't see what's going on through your eyes. The only way that we as moderation are ever going to know that something's going on in your session is if you send us a report with evidence. Very important. Please make sure you do that, especially for issues like intolerance. We really don't want that on our platform. We don't tolerate it, period, the end. But yeah, definitely sending us tickets. Like, can you think of anything, Dante?
No, I think that's the most important thing. Also, just be sure to use the built-in, self-moderation tools that the game has for you.
Definitely. Here, I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. Let's see, we have a mention here from Battler. One thing I'm a bit concerned about with the big marketing push is that VR chat has a much more widespread head pat culture, and folks coming in Resonite from there might accidentally ruffle a few feathers, not out of any malice, but out of good habit, or out of habit of trying to do good. And that's fine. Like, something like that, let's say, like, if someone goes and head pats someone and that person doesn't like that, they send a report against that, that's probably a warning. And, we're not going to, like, necessarily, like, just bring the hammer down on people if they do that, but we'll remind them, hey, get consent first before you start physically interacting with people. And that's totally fine. It isn't kind of a system where if we, like, send you a warning, like, your account's in bad standing, warning or something like that. We don't really care about that. All we care about is that, you know, we keep like notice that like we did tell you, let's say, you know, get consent before you physically interact with someone. If we have that on our record that we've already told you that, and then you do it again, yeah, we might follow that up either with a harsher warning and letting them know, like, hey, keep doing this, you're going to get account restrictions, or depending on the interaction, we might just apply account restrictions. Oh, like someone says, whoa, you're loud when you're up closer. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to blow your eardrums out. I didn't know that was going to happen. That's my bad. But noted for the future. Pixelinator says, you can also make an anti-booper, where if someone tries to boop you and you're not a fan of boops, it culls their avatar for you so you don't see the boop, and gives them a, hey, I'm not actually comfortable with boops, thank you, Papa. Actually, that's... You know, I'm not usually a fan of like self-moderation like creations. That's great. Like, that's awesome. That pops up a little sign that says like, hey, maybe don't physically interact with me. Like, or, you know, maybe even it says like, get to know me first before you do this or something like that. That's great. I think stuff like that is really good. It doesn't have any negative effect necessarily on the avatar that it's warning. Perfect. Wonderful. It doesn't break our guidelines, so that makes me very happy to see. Nuki says, yeah, we should set up a standard no petting system and proliferate that. Yeah, there you go. Like, especially if, like, I don't know, you can even make it like a button, right, that you put on your head, and as soon as like that button is pressed, maybe it pops up a sign that says, hey, back off. You know, something like clear, right? And I think that makes a lot of sense. Explanator says, sounds like you might need to make the process to submit tickets a bit more obvious if you're having trouble with people submitting tickets. That's true. One of our biggest asks in moderation from the dev team is that we eventually have an in-platform, like in your dash, like ticket submission system, so that you can report like bad behavior on the platform immediately. You know, maybe even also it has like a submit logs button or something like that, and then you just send it off. That'd be so good. And then we just continue communication with you probably through email. But, you know, because like you sign up with your email account here, then we'd be able to directly communicate with you through that email. I think that'd be perfect. Something that we definitely really want. It's one of our biggest asks. Nuki says, could be a mentor project if it's a big issue. I won't say that it's necessarily a big issue, but then again, as I've complained about before, sometimes we just don't get tickets about interactions that, you know, people are having, and, you know, it would always definitely help if we got those tickets. Battler says here, personally, I'm usually fine with being booped myself in a I don't really mind or care kind of way, but I know some people here can be more sensitive. That's for certain. One example that a friend of mine gave me who's photosensitive, not necessarily epileptic, but like they'll have people coming up to them in like a dark world with like, you know, their bright avatars, like basically my hands are reflecting whatever light is going on in the world. And if you go from pure darkness to suddenly having this in your face, yeah, it's gonna, like, it might actually cause a reaction to someone who's photosensitive. So keep that in mind too. Nuki says, how are you planning on filtering out users under 16 with the marketing? I've seen at least one video about Resonite that seemed more geared to a younger audience. So, I mean, like, I know that there's a couple users that are making, like, interesting content for basically younger viewers, but not users. Yeah, that's fine that they're doing that, as long as they're not encouraging those people to come onto the platform if they're under the age of 16. As far as the marketing goes, we're probably going to be pretty clear that like Resonite has a 16 and up age limit, like in any advertisements that we put out there. But yeah, like it's going to be the same thing as usual. We rely on reports with evidence that someone says that they're under the age of 16. Basically, that's the brunt of it. Let's see, have I missed anything here? Oh yeah, Nuki says they have to take off the headset and pull out their phone just to report. Yeah, like we would love to make it a little bit more streamlined. Pixelinator here says name tag badges for like I'm not comfortable with touching to go along with the other badges might also work. Like you already have the disability awareness badges, you could tack on a crossed out hands as a touch sensitive badge. That's true. I will say though, it seems like from our experience and from my personal experience, people aren't necessarily either looking at your badges, and also you can hide, people's badges very easily in the just in the dash itself. And there's a button to, actually just call out user badges like by default, and so sometimes that information can get hidden. I personally call badges very often just because I don't know, it's a lack of immersion for me if I see a floating bright badge over someone's head. Pixelinator says, and then I could put a system on my avatar that warns me if I'm dumb and don't notice the badge. Oh yeah, that's actually kind of an interesting idea. Maybe a warning that pops up, like if someone has a particular badge, like, hey, check out their badges first. That's kind of cool. I like that idea. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. Been having coughing fits lately. Too much fresh air. Nuki brings up a photosensitivity badge. Yeah, that would be a good idea to have. I'm a little worried though that some people who, let's say, don't believe in, things like photosensitivity and whatnot might look for those badges and target you in particular, especially if you're in public. Just be aware there are people who are looking for ways to get into your psyche and, cause you problems. I don't know. I think these people just think it's funny. Sucks when that happens, but if it happens, send us a report, please. Moderation.resonite.com. Yeah. Man, I would really love it at least if we can get a button that just takes you to the moderation portal. Even between now and when we have that system in. I don't know, something like that. I'll probably have to bring up to the team at some point.
Well, we do have some improvements planned for that crosses across the whole ticket system, where we are soon going to be replacing the ticket system with one that's more integrated with, say, the actual Resonite website.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll be able to go on there, and you'll you have a single log on. If you're logged into your account on the Resonite website, you'll just be logged into the ticket system. Make it a little bit easier. That's the first step. That'll be coming before a built-in system, but it should be an improvement.
Cool. Nuki says here, Veer, if someone is actively targeting people with a photosensitivity badge, wouldn't that be an instant ban? That would be a really, instant, sure, but it would probably be a harsh one too. Depending also, if they were a new user or something like that, that's probably permanent. And Baptha brings up they'd volunteer to join the mentor program if they were online in public sessions more than once a week. I understand that too. Sometimes, especially, people get busy. Just remember though, there's no exclusion here. If you don't necessarily want to join the mentor program, but you also want to help out new users, feel free. Absolutely, that's highly encouraged. You don't necessarily have to be part of the mentor team to do that. We're not gatekeeping anything like that. And in fact, we're just infinitely thankful to you for volunteering your time at all. Yeah, Nuki brings up the same point there. Oh, I don't know if I said it earlier on in the stream, but you know, usually at the end of these, well, not usually, we always try to do this. At the end of our stream, we're going to be doing, we're going to be rating someone who is hosting a Resonite stream on Twitch. And if you are, let's say, new to streaming and you're looking to maybe possibly get rated by us, absolutely start streaming soon. Things seem like they might be slowing down a little bit. And if that's the case, we might start rating soon. It depends on if we pick up more on questions here. Kuyo Blackstone VTuber says, I just got here. What I miss? Hello, welcome. You didn't miss too much. You just were here answering questions about Resonite's moderation. If you have any questions regarding the guidelines, sending reports and tickets, you know, that kind of stuff, we're here to answer your questions, at least for the next few minutes. We usually start at 4 p.m. EST. We're about 30 minutes in now. We're probably going to be ending stream somewhat soon, probably in the next 10 to 15 minutes. But if you have any questions for us, just ask us here in the chat. If you put a question mark on it, it helps us track those a little bit better. It'll put it over in our pinned messages panel here for us. Baffler says, I think I have these. I love helping new users when I encounter them, and I've introduced half a dozen VRC friends to the platform and imported their Avi for them. No need to have a green bulb icon to do that. Absolutely. Yeah, especially if you got friends over on other platforms and they've always, you know, let's say they've expressed interest in trying out the Resonite platform. If you can help them out, like get their avatar set up, that's awesome. Like, very awesome of you. Nuki says, Veer, I've noticed that you've had that avatar the entire time I've known you. Do you ever look into switching to others? So likely what I might end up doing is maybe getting a custom avatar eventually by an avatar maker that is mostly this. How can I put it? This is like a persona of mine that I've had since 2010. I've like made minor changes like between like, let's say, my Second Life experience and then like coming over onto Resonite. And then I like switched over to a bunch of different like characters for a little while, and then I swapped back to this guy. And this just feels right to me. Oh, you got a question, Dante?
Yeah, Nuki is asking me, what else can you tell us about yourself? I'm Dante. I like pizza, meme YouTube videos, and Resonite. I don't know.
Heck yeah. I like pizza and meme videos. That sounds like a good time, honestly. One of my earliest screenshots in Resonite is of Veer hugging someone. Aw. Rasmus says, this is more of a back-end question, but let's hear it. If people get kicked or banned, does that get flagged in the system, especially if it happens in short succession? No. That's not something that gets transmitted to us. It's not necessarily like, how can I put it? I feel like that would only really be useful if like we're doing some sort of like automation moderation, and we're not interested in automation moderation on this platform. It might provide useful metrics later on, but then again, people could be kicked for lots of inane reasons that aren't against the guidelines, and in fact, maybe people are violating the guidelines by kicking them. Let's say if they're like a protected minority, and that's the reason they're getting kicked from Worlds, that could definitely happen. I feel like that stuff would just be gamed anyway. I don't think it'd be very useful information. Nuki asks, do y'all ever make your own pizza? He posts photos of it, and my friend and I just brought into Resonite. Oh my god, I'm dyslexic, sorry guys. My friend I just brought into Resonite likes to make it. Cool. Funny enough, actually, recently Dante and I went to BJ's and found this like really cool pizza pack thing. Came with 4 pizza crusts and like 4 packs of sauce, and then you just supply the rest of the ingredients. Yeah, it's like a par-baked pizza round, and basically like a giant Lunchables pizza, you know, kind of. That was pretty cool. I made a couple white sauce pizzas because those are my favorite. I also get like bad heartburn with tomato sauce sometimes. So, man, just a little bit of Alfredo, then some like cheese and, you know, garlic, and God, now I'm hungry. Pixelnator says people would also 100%. Ooh, I lost it there. Hold on. Abuse an automated flagging system. Absolutely. I watched it happen on a platform I'm not going to name, but it was a platform that was utilizing auto moderation by, like, how can I put it? It would ban a user if they received like 5 concurrent like abuse reports in like a small matter of time. So you know what that did? That encouraged users to band together and create little merc teams. So they would go and, like, let's say they get paid to go and merc someone, right? They would, I watched it happen to a friend of mine. They just walked up to my friend and said, hey, enjoy touching grass or whatever. And then my friend disappeared because they all hit submit at the same time. That sucks. I'm not a fan of that. It's always a balance game, but I was curious, and hello, we have dudes to ask. Oh, yeah. And that was in regards to your question about the back end, yeah. Nikki says they like to get the cheese pizza from Aldi's, throwing on my own toppings. Heck yeah. Kuyo here says, well, in that case, what do you think about world moderations? Example, let's say someone is a bad actor and causes trouble in a specific world. To prevent them from just starting a new instance, and the owner of the world does not want them using their own world, if the owner of moderators of that world can ban them from using the world entirely. I'm having a hard time parsing that. I think, like, what you're basically trying to say is, like, let's say someone is causing problems with, like, self-moderation tools in that world. One, please send us a report on that, potentially even a security report, because that would be kind of wild. Honestly, I don't think we've ever heard of something like that happening. Usually the self-moderation tools are sacred. You know, you are controlling your world from your computer, you know, and those tools should all work. Let's say, though, you kick someone and then they come in on a new account or something like that. Please absolutely report that to us. We have ways of detecting, you know, those users. And it'll be very helpful if you report that. Rasmus said he saw it happen in Minecraft. That would be funny. It wasn't Minecraft, though. Pixelnator says you can't host a world not owned by you if the owner has not shared the world out publicly, as far as I know. And if a world is shared publicly, then the owner of the world can't really prevent people from hosting their own instances of them. That's true. Like, if you do submit it to the, like, you know, worlds tab, like, yeah, people will be able to host it. You're not going to have specific ability to, like, limit certain people from going to those worlds. So just keep that in mind. However, if someone starts misusing your assets from those worlds, bringing them into other worlds when you weren't wanting that to happen, send us a report. Yuki says, it occurs to me that you can use onStart to check who the host is and close the world. Would that be against the rules to do that? There's no precedent for that. So that would have to be a discussion with the moderation team and the team leads. I can't really give you an answer on that right now, but we'd have to, like, go through and figure out, like, what all the caveats are for that. Ponty's Pizza, greetings, Resonite Dog. How have you been this week? I've been wonderful, and lovely to see you again. Thank you for joining our stream. VT Arxla says, a dog and a doozier. Yay, that is true. Dante is on our stream this time around. A little bit of a rare treat. If you guys have any questions for Dante regarding the support team, Dante's here to answer. I'm sorry, Dante, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
Oh, just hello.
Okay. Speak of pizza, and pizza will come. Absolutely. That's funny. Yeah, we were just talking about pizza earlier. My question was for preparation when Resonite grows. Oh, okay, that's in regards to like bad actors entering sessions and whatnot. Yeah, like as the platform grows, we're gonna see more precedents being made and more issues like arising for certain. I think it's just going to be interesting to see them come in as they do. Well, there you go, Dante.
Really?
Oh.
No, Pixelvator is asking me, I have a question for the support team. Why do they call it oven when you in the cold food of out hot eat the food? I'm going to ask you, have you tried to verify your oven's files?
Oh, there you go. Man, that's a question that actually like has some merit today now too. That's kind of wild to think about. Like, yeah, I connect to my oven through Wi-Fi. You obviously don't own a Wi-Fi enabled air fryer. Do the dog ever miss the days of instant messengers? You know, not necessarily instant messengers, but I can go back a little bit further. I kind of miss when we were just, how can I put it? The lack of expectation to be fully connected to the internet at all times, like that we had back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Of course, you know, like early 90s too. But like, I really liked how at the end of the day, I could just kind of go home from school and that was the end of my social life for the day, unless I truly chose to like get on my bike and ride up the road to see my friends. I do kind of just miss being able to be like, yeah, this is me time right now. No one has access to me. I honestly have just been thinking about like having a day of the week, you know, where I just make that a reality. Let's see. I think we definitely got a bunch of things here. There we go. Baffler for you, Dante.
Yeah, Baffler's asking for support. Have you seen a higher number of tickets of people being unable to just start the game? I've seen a handful of GitHub issues and was wondering if you were handling some. There's definitely some more. I wouldn't say there's a lot, but of course with the splitting and the big changes involved there, it has brought up some new issues. We're still learning about them, so support doesn't necessarily have like any quick fixes for them, but what we do want you to do if you're experiencing something like that is to share your experiences on the GitHub, because we're still learning about it, it's new, and we really need those issues to be on the GitHub so that the developers can be aware and fix them.
Yeah. Rasmus says, so silly question, are you allowed to operate multiple accounts from the same computer to create particular effects? Think army of clones talking in unison. Generally, like, usually that's fine. If you're not, like, using that to, like, you know, hurt people or take advantage of storage or whatever, then it's usually just fine. My tracking just reset my position there. That's weird. Be pretty funny, too, honestly. But yeah, you don't even need to do that. You can actually join an instance more than once. I don't necessarily know how that works. But let's say I was logged into Resonite like on my computer and I was also logged into Resonite on the same account on my Steam Deck. I could absolutely join the world. Like I could have like another version of me walk past here. I'm controlling with my Steam Deck. That's kind of crazy to think about.
You can actually do it on the same computer too. As long you can run Resonite multiple times as long as you set a different database and cache location for each instance, which is a little complicated to explain on the stream, but there is a wiki page for that.
Nice. That's actually kind of interesting to think about and try. Let's see here. Oh, a lot of conversation about messengers. What should we do if we know people who aren't reporting that they can't run it? I'm trying to see what the context is for that.
I think it's in reference to the like people crashing without even like just on start, not even be able to run Resonite at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you're seeing people who are like not reporting that they can't run Resonite, then encourage them to go to our support. You know, we do respond to people. Baffler says, I low-key am happy about the resonance not being held. Not only is it good for Frux's health, allowing him to recuperate, but it's also great for me to go to sleep before 2 a.m. without feeling FOMO. Yeah, I bet. And yeah, Frux really does need to take a chill break here for a bit. Frux is traveling. Well, that's not exactly resting, but I hope he's having fun. He's Japanning. Huh. Yeah, Frux is being worked like a dog, pun intended, not sorry. Oh, you know what? This is actually a great question. Kuyo says, this may be off topic a little, and that's totally fine, by the way. Are there any plans for Second Lifestyle groups and group worlds? So group worlds, that's an interesting concept, but groups, it's not going to necessarily be like Second Lifestyle. We're going to be doing everything Resonite style, essentially. But yes, we do want to actually have a group system in the contacts menu. It might not necessarily even be in the contacts menu. I don't know how it's going to look, but we absolutely want people to be able to form groups. We want people to be able to form groups and like separate, let's say like access, like, you know, let's say you want to host a world that only certain members of like your contacts list can enter, something like that, or maybe people of a certain group that even aren't even on your contacts. We'd love to have that here. I think that would be a great way to like open up interaction on a different level. Man, I just can't wait for the contacts like overhaul. I think that's going to be great. Nuki says, we kind of have groups and the group can have its own folder with worlds. That's true, but it's very bare bones. Like, that system's probably going to be completely replaced. Baffler says, unfortunately, creating a group is held behind a relatively high tier of subscription. Yeah, that's true. And like I said, it's not going to really have any sort of, like, how can I put it? Like, I don't think we're going to necessarily have any sort of interplay between that group system and, like, let's say the new group system. But then again, I'm not a dev. I'm not working with the code. I'm not working with the design team on any of that stuff necessarily. I'll be giving opinions and that's it. Like, as far as that stuff goes, I'm basically just an ideas guy, which means nothing, you know? Are Xbox 360 and PSP games considered retro now? Probably. Like, I remember tuning into a radio channel, like, now playing the classics, and it's like a Lady Gaga song. And I'm like, oh man, I feel old. Nuki says, yeah, is groups ever going to be a lower tier feature? I can't afford that tier. I have no idea. Like, honestly, I'm going to say that I generally don't interact with that part of stuff, but I would love to see it completely overhauled and just turned into the new group system. Nirvana is now classic rock. I feel like Nirvana was classic rock in like the mid-2010s. Blink-182 is classic rock. This is painful, Nuki. Alright, folks, I can see that it's starting to slow down a little bit. So I'm actually going to go ahead and start the rating process here. I'm going to be looking on Twitch to see if someone is rating. If you're managing to be like, I don't know, the Flash right now, and you want to be able to like be part of that and, you know, possibly get rated by us, start streaming now. I'm going to start looking at the webpage right now. Open up Twitch. I'm hoping it's not going to blast my eardrums again. But instantly I'm hearing stuff. I wish it wouldn't do that automatically. Creator dashboard. Let's see here. Why they remove all of the, oh. Everything is icons. They removed all the text. I think because my window is narrow. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll figure this out. There we go. Raid channel. Same category. All right, folks. Looks like someone named Cynic1254 is currently streaming Resonite. Their title of the video is perfecting the Resonite streamer setup. Cool. Actually, that sounds like it's going to be educational. So I'm going to go ahead and actually raid to them. I don't think we've ever raided them before. So you guys do us a favor. Be all friendly. You know, say hi from us for moderation. Yeah, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you, Dante, for being on today with me and answering their questions. Yeah. All right, folks. You guys take care. I'm going to go ahead and start here. All right, it's not instant. We're going to be rating in about 10 seconds here. And 1, and all right, folks. Catch y'all later. Bye, guys.